So if not us, all of us, all of us. We talk about different states of consciousness. Well, there's a debate over this word consciousness. Let's just say, let's take 3 examples. There is the state of consciousness of dream, okay? That's a reality. There's our deep slate of consciousness. You can turn on the lights now. There's our deep sleep consciousness, which there's no reality in deep sleep, right? That's reality. There's nothing there. And then there's our waking state of consciousness. Now the question is, how awake can we become? When we think back, when we become sleepy, our reality becomes less clear, more fuzzy. So the more awake we become, the more alive, the more reality begins to show itself. Now, where was reality? Where was whatever we call it when we were in deep sleep? Where was it when we were in dream state? Where is it now? So what Clarus is all about is enhancing that which is already in process, enhancing that linkage to the innate intelligence that is so precious, that is our birthright, that nobody can take away from us. And we talk about a field of intelligence. And so we use this word field because we don't want to think that our own bodies are limited to particles, to chemicals. So the reason why I am different than you is because of all kinds of things, but the reason why our bodies are perceived as separate is because light is reflecting and there's electromagnetic forces that resist and all these things. But we know, everybody in this room, that when we keep going down and down and down, there's this huge space and there's this huge potential, at least. And when we continue to go even further, there's just this unity, whatever we call it. And there are phases of perception that are in that state of unity that show up, just like the tree with all its different leaves, and you go down, it becomes more and more unified, and then you have, back in time, one little seed. So those phases are linked. They're linked with fields of intelligence, that when the seed, when it's time for the seed to sprout, the intelligence in the field shows up. It's already there. It's like when you've graduated from 3rd grade, now you're ready for 4th grade, you walk down the hall and the 4th grade teacher is there. She or he has the knowledge already. So let's go to the next slide. So here's just some quick examples of innate intelligence. I just had my daughter's 2 years old, and I'm just, so happy. And I remember when my, since I'm a late bloomer, and my wife got pregnant, it was like a miracle and everything. And I just read all the books and looked at all the videos, and I go, oh my God, every 2.5 minutes there's these huge changes, and it's just happening. And now we have this little girl who has my dimples, who I see in my great-great-great-grandfather's picture somewhere along the line here, and it started these 2 little cells, and just, this is all in a field of miraculous intelligence. So next slide. So what SRT, sympathetic resonance technology, just a question quickly, how many saw my talk on water yesterday? Okay, oh, sorry, how many didn't see it? That should be, okay, so I want to repeat a couple things. How sympathetic resonance technology, SRT, works is by analogy here. There's a source of, or a blueprint of potential. So in the seed that I showed yesterday, there is a blueprint of potential for the sprout, and then the stem, and the trunk, and the leaves, and the apple, and the juice in the apple, and the red skin, and the little thing that goes out top. All that is contained potentially in the seed. It's in a field. And like the 3rd grader going to 4th grade, as nature progresses, these different frequencies kick in. and allows things to change form, to change phases, transphase. Name of the company, Clarus Transphase Scientific. So it's the science of those transphase points. And what we are all about is just clarifying the pathways or the linkages, the steps, because it's those conditions between change, while change is in progress, that are most critical for the outcome of the change. It's logical, isn't it? So we want to make sure that our receivers, like a radio, is tuned in to the right frequency, to the right information, so that the outcome at these different phases is more like the blueprint, more like our higher potential, more like our full potential. Next slide. So that's the theory, and what we've, okay, this is good. Next, hit the enter. So like a singer, I'll do this quickly, like a singer in the audio recording studio, she's singing, so there's a source signal, right? She's singing away. Next, singing away, and then it's transduced. It changes forms. That acoustic energy changes forms through a transducer here to, in this case, a radio wave. Now it's in the air. Now it's radio. Nobody can hear her at that point because they don't have the proper receivers. Here's the antenna and goes on. Next. So here's some gents. They have a receiver, and they're tuning in her song, right? Next. One more. Stop there. And so they're experiencing something that, depending upon the accuracy of information transfers, regulates and determines their experience. So if there's interference here, if there's a weak wire here, or something in the radio there, or maybe the terror in the speaker, then the potential of this is compromised. And that's how we compare the interference with our own linkage with our innate intelligence. If there's some interference there, call it stress, call it karma, whatever you want to call it, if there's some interference, then our experience of life is compromised relative to those interference patterns, those interference blockages, if you will.